You don't sound particularly positive on this. Why?
So a lot of the chatter about the company over the last few months has been like Nike's going their own way and they're doing it themselves. My downgrade had absolutely nothing to do with that. My downgrade was that they guided a mid-single-digit same-store sales growth for the year and high single-digit EPS growth.
Right.
And they comped around a 2, under a 3 for the first half of the year, and they would need significant acceleration to be able to get to that mid-single-digit number, and we don't see that coming.
Right.
Despite the fact that we've heard that product for the back half of the year is much better than it was. The compares are much different, and on a 2 and 3 year stacked compares, those, I mean, it would just be such acceleration. We don't necessarily think it's going to happen.
So you said that while they have a product line in the pipeline coming in, that's not going to be enough. The outlook is too optimistic. What changed about Foot Locker? Are they just trying to be most optimistic, or are the fundamentals so different that their optimism is just not even going to hold them through?
Well, we thought we lowered our numbers a week and a half ago. We lowered our comp expectation for the quarter. We lowered the full year, thinking that they would probably do a little bit of a reset when they announced earnings this week. We realized things probably weren't quite as good as what we thought, but the stock was inexpensive and so on. But now we have a situation where they have to make these numbers, and since they didn't reset, we just thought it best step away to the sideline for the time.
Right. And Nike has now been doing a lot of its own, right? It doesn't need Foot Locker quite as much. It's been doing its own thing, right?
Yes.
And Foot Locker depends on Nike a lot.
Well, I think it goes both ways. I mean, there's, I don't know, around $5 billion a year Foot Locker, Nike sells to Foot Locker. So it's a huge partner. Also, and I'll use a story I tell a lot of people, and this, I don't want everybody who's watching this to don't take it too seriously. If I told you I'm the best footwear analyst ever, you'd be like, yeah, well, right, you're egomaniac, and it's not an objective at all. But if one of your counterparts said, Sam's a really good footwear analyst, that holds a lot more weight. And and in the situation of, if Nike says we have great stuff, that's Nike telling you they have great stuff. But if Foot Locker has Nike, Adidas, Puma, all these other brands, and you pick Nike, then you're beating the competition. And Nike is too competitive a company to step away. They realize they need to know exactly what's going on with all their competitors. And the only way you see that is live against the other brands.
Right.
And Foot Locker is by far the best one to do that.
I get what you're saying. And, they got to battle it out. And I love going to the sneaker store, and I go to a sneaker con, right? Sneaker con, right?
I've been to a few
that
other
big
ones,
convention.
Yes.
The kids have the sneakers in the drop boxes to the ceilings in their bedroom at home. So these are my own children. So I know how hot and competitive this market really is. So what's your price target now? You put it at 39, down from 46. It's at 35 or so, right? So basically, it doesn't have much upside potential at all. Do you see any point to get in there and buy Foot Locker or buy Nike?
Well, we have a buy on Nike, so
you have
we have a
buy
positive
on Nike,
rating
which is at 82. Okay.
And Nike, I mean, look, Nike is completely in control, and their messaging to their customers on a relative basis is better than, as far as we can tell, Foot Locker is.
What about the tariffs? How much does that really weigh on these, footwear? Because that's a big, big deal.
Yeah. So on athletic footwear, Nike is less than 25% of their products being made in China. And if you go around and you go into a Foot Locker or a Nike store or any sneaker store and turn the shoes over, you're seeing Vietnam, Indonesia, very little China. The problem is if these tariffs occur, well, the price of everything goes up, and people are going to have less money in their pocket, and then you even have to win more to get that share. But directly, and we did a big piece on this about a week and a half ago, directly with China, the athletic guys really aren't directly impacted that way.
Can you give us a glimpse into the holidays of all these companies that you cover? What may be most in demand, or what may do best for these companies?
Well, there's a lot of talk. I mean, look, about what from a product perspective.
Well, I also need to know what to buy. for Christmas.
For your kids. Yeah, okay.
But it's going to be apparel and footwear,
I mean,
right?
it's always apparel and footwear, but it's which ones? I mean, you know, and
Lululemon's always hot, right?
Look, Lulu, Nike, Canada Goose. I mean, the best brands out there these days are keeping the supply just underneath the demand.
Yeah.
And as soon as the supply meets or exceeds the demand, no matter how good whatever it was prior to that, it's no good anymore. And because, especially kids, but everybody's information, the information everybody has at their disposal is so much, the speed of change of what you want is picking up pace, and you have to stay with that or ahead of that, and those that can do that win, and those who don't.
You make a great point because, for example, Canada Goose at Bloomingdale's, if you don't get the Canada Goose you want early in the season, it will not be there
Correct.
in 2 months. So I guess they really are refining exactly.
And that's absolutely by design.
Right.
And Lululemon, as they were growing, you know, if you ever go into a Lulu store, you see the pant wall, and you see black, and then you see with all the different trim, and then you see a couple colors, and then you see a couple patterns. But what they were doing before, there was like 9 in a box, and what they were doing before was just they were selling too fast out of the colors, which was fine. They weren't marking anything down, but then a new customer come in and go, that's all black, and a core customer goes in and goes, I already own all that. So you have to find that balance, and there's an art and a science that goes with it to make it all work.